This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
All right, we are recording. Welcome everyone to the August 16th, 2022 meeting of EDIC. I'm delighted to see all of you. We're calling this to order presently. And I would like to get into the process of approving the July meeting minutes that Cassie submitted to us. Has everyone had a chance to review those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Outstanding. I would like to then ask, is there any further discussion about July's meeting minutes? No, seeing none. All in favor of approving July's meeting minutes, give me a visual or auditory indication that you approve them.
Approve.
I have to abstain.
Okay. That's a good point. We have an abstention because you weren't there. This has happened to us one other time. Can we approve July's meeting minutes with this number of us? Probably not.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you just need a quorum to open the meeting.
Okay.
Once the meeting's open, if someone has to leave or whatever, I'm pretty sure you can continue the meeting because you got a quorum to open it.
Good deal. Thank you, Tom Brown. All right, so Mo motioned approval and Paul seconded. All in favor, but abstention from Chris. Okay. Minutes. Dave is not here. Dave's not here, man. So we may move public speak to when he is here. Anybody have a problem with that?
No problem.
Jeff's not here either. So in the way of updates from the planning department, all I can tell you is what I know about the elementary schools RFP, which is less than what Chris and Tom know, I assume. So is there information that either of you would like to share with us?
I think that I heard the mayor speak this morning on the radio about it being still in committee longer than she expected, and that's all I have to. She expected it to be out by now, and I think voted on by end of this month, but that's not going to happen.
Okay. Anything else?
And Chris obviously knows more than I do. I'm not on that committee. I just can tell you from some fringe discussions that I believe there are some city councilors who are not pleased with other city councilors who seem to be slowing this process down and acting like they want to reinvent it, which is scaring everybody. Like they want to put their thumbprints on the RFP. And I believe a more common behind the scenes consensus is just get it out there and see what you get for responses. And then that's your opportunity to potentially say, we like your plan, but we'd like to tweak this or tweak that. I forget how the old saying goes about, don't let perfect get in your way here. Get it out, send it out. And
yeah, perfect is the enemy of good. I've heard all those things too, Tom.
Yeah. So it's a political quagmire right now, to say the least. Political quagmire, and it's unfortunate. And I'm sensing the mayor's frustration if she's saying that on radio.
I'm curious, does anyone, or if you guys are familiar, you sound more familiar with this than me. Is there a particular sticking point or something that, certain city councilors want to see that you guys know of, that it has been included, or what's the real holdup?
I don't know.
Or disagreement?
I don't know either, Paul, other than I think they just want their thumbprints on it and just want to be able to say that they've reviewed it, they've put their efforts in, they've done whatever, and now it's come back and has their blessing. I don't know. It's taking way too long. It should have, the night it was presented to them or the time it was presented to them, it really was a complete effort and should have been approved and been out already. And
Yep, that was the whole point.
exactly. There's a history of this that's you create these committees to do this work, and then the city council wants to do it over again. And I'm not blaming anyone on the city council. It's a history. It's just in the body, I believe, that the body wants to be able to, I don't know, take credit, maybe, who knows what. Same thing happened 20 years ago on a committee I served on. Worked for 9 months on a project, brought it to the city council, and then they spent 3 months regurgitating it. So it's pretty frustrating, but so Paul, just the short answer is I don't think there's one thing. I think they just want to say they reviewed it, and that's going to take time because they meet every other year in the summertime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry
And did I
about-
miss something in the beginning of this? Casey, are you back with us, or are you just popping in to say hello?
He's just stopped by to
I'm just here for public speak, so when that opens up, I'll speak.
Very cool.
all right. So I think we'll leave that for now unless more pops up into your head about the elementary schools RFP. I will say that the newly created Easthampton Housing Coalition, which is a group of various individuals from across all parts of the city, is taking a strong interest in advocating for whatever needs to be in the RFP and in the decision-making process about the use of school buildings themselves. That's all I know about that right now. They're having a conversation amongst themselves about how to represent the interests of the needs for housing at any committee meetings related to the idea that we need more housing, including the use of the schools. So that's just to know they're on board with all of the things that the Fair and Affordable Housing Partnership is doing. I am at least keeping my ear to what they're doing, if not showing up to all of their meetings. And yeah, question, Tom.
Just real quick, I believe I heard what I heard from the city council was when it gets back to the council, they would appreciate our attendance, if possible, at a meeting to push for this to get signed, sealed, and delivered and get out there. And just one other quick point, Chris can confirm this, but it's when you refer to housing, I believe this RFP was set up with a point system where you get points, and I believe the highest points you can get are for affordable housing.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That is in line with how we've been talking. So I think the more they hear from a diverse set of stakeholder groups, or a wide set of stakeholder groups, I don't even care if they're diverse, they could just be a lot of them. I would like that very much. So, pardon me while I gasp. On the topic of updates from the planning department, I shared with you that there is an upcoming zoning board of appeals meeting on the 24th of August in the evening. There are 2 properties that are seeking, what are they seeking? One of them is seeking a special permit and variance for 150 Northampton Street, which used to be the Carpet Building. Ken Shapiro of East Heaven, presumably of Hot Tub and Spa. And then also Matt Gall, who wants to renew his expired variance to take down Hurry and Scurry and build a mixed-use retail and residential building. So I attended the last known conversation that ZBA had about the variance and permit for Hurry and Scurry. I was strongly in favor. The ZBA was like, yes, go team, no issue here. But I'm happy to do that again. I don't think anybody needs convincing. Not a single person in that room needed convincing that this was a good idea. But just having representation there is a good idea. So if there's anyone else who would like to attend, I invite you to do that. Is there anybody who can't get on board with me going to that meeting and saying EDIC is behind this?
No.
All right. So at least for right now, I will say that I will go that 8/24 ZBA meeting. Okay. Okay. You know what I think we're going to do? Is there anybody who can't live with moving public speak to now before we get into other discussions?
Sure.
I don't
go
know
for it.
if Dave's going to make it. I don't know. It's okay? All right. So
Fine. Even if Dave comes, we can table public speak
it's
after
true.
Casey's done.
It's true. Okay. Casey Douglas, would you like to share some stuff or whatever?
Sure. A couple of points of interest. One is just rumor that the Moriarty building has been sold next to me. We know
Really?
that Loomis has been there several times and has dug out a tank. We believe it's Naresh, and 5-star Kevin is involved. So all I hear as far as that word is concerned. The second thing I want to say about the RPs and the schools is that I've been in discussion with some of the other members besides you, Christopher, about the process, and they felt like it was a controlled vision that was presented to them and not really discussion. And I think that that's what City Council might be having issues with, is that they haven't looked at the whole picture. I think that you look at Memorial Hall, that was an RFP from the city on the market for $2 million. Parsons Place, which they gave away for $10,000, has since been sold for over $2 million. So I think that there's just a bigger picture of what it could be besides housing. I think housing is obviously very important. I think the city has other properties as well. I think that, yeah, maybe getting it out there is the way to go. But I think that that's the situation you're running into. From what I understand is that it feels like it was very one-sided decision about how it was going to be done. So that's that point. And the new topic that actually kind of brings me here is something that I just became aware of as I'm trying to build a garage on my house. And I understand that our new building inspector is very difficult to work with. My architect, as was immediately told in a 2-word response, not permittable for this type of foundation we're putting in, even though it's used across the country, shaking our head about what that means. So I asked around. Turns out a developer in town no longer gets permits, just does things back doors because of the trouble that they're having with the building inspector. Neighbor who owns a business next to me also says that's what he hears. And then I went to Amy's place for lunch and saw the former Deputy Chief Wayne Henneman there, telling me that their back patio structure has to come down because it's non-compliant and illegal because of the Board of Health. And it's able to stay because of the COVID issues to the end of the summer. But it really sounds like it's overstepping. And as you guys, as part of the business community, if we have a situation where we have a tough building inspector who will not allow licensed contractor, he's been licensed architect who's been working for 52 years, they stamp their plans, which means they've done the work. It's up to the local inspector to understand why they're putting their stamp on it and to move things forward, as opposed to creating an environment where people will either go around the building inspector or they will just simply, as Amy's is doing, throwing up the towel and ending the backyard seating because it's just not worth the hassle. He points to me and says, we need a firewall between their garage door and a brick wall. He points out that it is itself a firewall. So I believe that this is what my general contractor says, that this individual has pending lawsuit against them for building permit issues and was let go from their previous place of employment. I say the same thing to you. Would you allow a police officer, police chief, or a fire chief who's fired from another community to be the head of one of our boards, which is strongly tied to economic development? And I don't know who, you know what I mean? don't know where to go with this. I just, saw the RFP was coming forward and spoke to Wayne Henneman on Sunday, and sort of like, this is so different than when I was here opening up my first business. People would, help me get the permitting, talk me through the process, and allow the city to grow. It seems like we could be in a situation where people won't want to come here. And I just want you to be aware of that. I don't know what you can or should do with that information. I think I can kick around and perhaps be at the next meeting to give you an update on more specifics. But, I think that maybe you guys should put your ear to the ground and see what you think as far as, as much as you say yay to the hurry and scurry, we want to get that moving along. But what if there's a stick in the mud who says, well, this, that, the other thing, as opposed to helping things move forward. So it's just all I wanted to present to you guys.
Okay. Thank you for those thoughts, Casey. All right. I think we can put that kind of thing on our next agenda if we want to take that up then. I can send some proposed topics to you all in advance, and you can send back to me what you want to get into. Moving back to what's originally listed on our agenda as our fourth set of topics, I would like to provide a vacant storefront ordinance progress update. All I can say is that it was on the agenda for August 8th. Nope, August 4th. And for whatever reason, I cannot find video of that meeting. I can't find video of the ordinance committee any later than May 9th. If someone else can, I invite you to do that. So I can't go find video of that right now. And there are no minutes yet because I think their next meeting is like tomorrow or Thursday or something. But it's on their agenda. They're still working on it. And that's all I know so far. Mo, would you like to share anything in particular, a reminder or an update about Shop Where I Live online?
No, I will have a little brief update. It's basically that, as the weeks progress, we have more and more merchants coming online, service providers and retailers. And the exciting piece about this is that there are several of which are not chamber members. So that's exciting. We just got Wonderland 413, and she'll be uploading product shortly. So I'm excited about that. We have an artisan. His first name is Francis. I can't remember his last name, but he works out of his home, and his company is called Inkpot Pens. And he does these beautiful, beautiful handmade, juried, like Paradise City art show, juried shows type of work. And they're just absolutely beautiful. So he's up online. So I'm very excited about that. So again, I would just ask that if you have not already liked the Chamber Facebook page, if you could do that. And then when you see Shop Where I Live, anything related to that, if you could push it out to your networks, that would be hugely appreciated. We are ready to, for shoppers to come shopping and to check it out frequently, because there's more and more coming online as the weeks progress on. So I'm really excited about this and would really love the help of your networks.
Yes, indeed. I got a lot of likes from people who don't live anywhere near Easthampton when I posted about that. So keep it up.
Thank you.
Union Street business communication during the still pending tear up and re-beautification of Union Street. So you can now subscribe to a set of updates from the city about what's coming in the way of construction, in the way of traffic, and just visuals that will be changing from time to time. I have signed up for that messaging through the city. It makes me wonder whether we want to continue pursuing some line of thinking about how EDIC can help with that, or whether that's sort of been obviated by this fact, or whether we just need to amplify the fact that you can get those messages from the city. Thoughts?
I think we can amplify that you can get those things from the city. And I will apologize because I know said I would draft up an EDIC agrees, for this meeting, and I didn't do that. I certainly will do it for the next meeting. I do apologize. The 16th it came so fast, but
It did, yeah.
It really did. And I've just been real busy the past week or two, but I think that's definitely something we could amplify, and that could be a part of that. And any other way that we can make that message. But I think, if the city's sending out updates, if you can sign up for that, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
So can I add to that?
Of course.
So we have started crafting messaging for that. We've got a post, I guess you could say, an email blast that goes out, and it's called the Union Street Project News. And I don't know. I would need to talk with Lindsay because she's kind of my partner in this. So we've created that branded news letter, and that's being posted on the Notify Me. And also I push it out through my newsletter, and I also push it out through my general mailing list. So I wonder if the EDIC, and if you guys could maybe push it out through, or we could push it out through the EDIC, because I know the city pushes out my constant contact kind of nice things. They push that out, and I don't know if it's overstepping or if the EDIC wants to push that out also to be amplified.
Meaning basically we can take the content and just say this is
repost
what the chamber is. Yeah.
Or share.
That's reasonable, right?
I think so. I mean, unless, Lindsay's on vacation this week, but I would double check with her to make sure that we're not overstepping anything. But I don't think that I think the more that Pat Bruff is putting it out onto the Good News page, the Easthampton Good News page. So if, the EDIC wanted to put it out, I don't know that it's, once I've said it, once we've sent it out, it's the official thing. So
I think as individuals we can, for sure.
Right. There was a piece I saw on Facebook. Who originated that? Was that the planning department, or you did, Mo? You put that piece on Facebook? Okay.
Yeah, and then I created that, and we're all just broadcasting it out.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and we can make reference to the fact that both that you can sign up for updates from the city, the chamber is sending out updates, all that can go in an EDIC agrees, Paul. So that seems totally reasonable, like multiple resources for people out in the community.
Yeah, and the more that we broadcast about Notify Me, the more that, they can, if they miss any of those other things, they can at least go there and check.
Yep.
We decided not to recreate the wheel since they already had that system in place.
Yep. All right, so we'll just agree that EDIC members will amplify what's coming from the chamber and from the city as necessary. I don't feel like this is so formal that we need a plan for that. Just as you see those things coming through, feel free to throw them onto whatever your platform of preference is. And Paul, we can put that in EDIC agrees. Again, I'm happy to help with that and not leave you to the wolves by yourself for a month. Okay. And membership. I'd be more excited if Dave Kutcher were here. He may be here at the next meeting. It sounds like he's submitted an application to join EDIC. I think they're going through the process with the appointments committee. I don't know where that stands. Last time somebody joined EDIC, I didn't get any notification, so we might just be surprised. In any event, 7 is what Dave would bring our membership to. Would still love to have 9. Who else can we convince? Let's get out there. Let's do some thinking. I love this idea. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts about that we've not shared previously? No? All right. So barring something urgent, which we're not really allowed to discuss anyway because of open meeting law, I think we can close this meeting. Does anybody have anything else to say about that idea?
No. So
Gwen, I just wanted to go back real quick, if we could, to when you mentioned the vacant storefront ordinance and if you recall, I attended that meeting on August, whatever it was, that it appeared to be on the agenda, but it really wasn't.
Yep.
And then I realized that there was another group at that meeting, a large group, 20 or 25 people who were there for an item that fell into the same category, looked like on the agenda, but it really wasn't. So they were kind of sent home. So I asked a city councilor the next day, what's up? Because I went back and looked at the agenda, and as you had seen, it looks like it's on the agenda.
Yeah.
Well, apparently on the city council agenda, when they list the title of the subcommittee, they list everything that is sitting in that's pending in that subcommittee on that agenda. So the items you see under that subcommittee are items that are in discussion, in process, whatever, but not necessarily on the full agenda for city council that night.
All right, that's useful. I mean, it's very annoying, but it's useful.
I said, you think it might be a little confusing? And thankfully, it wasn't just us. There was another group there. So they agreed they would at least go back and take a look at how they format their agenda to try to make it less confusing.
Love that. Ideal. Change makers. Great job. Nothing like a serious amount of frustration to drive that kind of change.
Yep.
That's good to know. So in the future, assuming that they don't make this change quickly, just look all the way down to the regular agenda and don't assume that a committee update actually involves meaningful discussion of a topic.
I'm on a board of trustees for another group, and they just got notified about standing items on agendas in open law. You can't have standing items unless you have something to discuss. Yeah. So I guess what they're doing, what Tom's describing, doesn't jive with open meeting law. Someone should probably let them know, or not. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, Gwen, I also messaged you. I found the links to those two meetings. If you open up the chat, I could post it here from 8/4 and 7/14.
All right. Let everyone send messages. That's for right now. Okay. Where? How?
I searched Easthampton Ordinance Committee in YouTube.
I mean, I'm looking at a playlist. It's not coming up, but okay.
It's always a challenge finding these things.
All right. Well, in any event, great. So now we have a link. Everybody can see this link that's been put in the chat.
Yes.
If you want to go look at, I'll go look at it and find out what we learned, but I'm not going to put any of that in the minutes because all we did was learn that it's up there. Thank you for that, Chris. I appreciate it. And anything else related to today's topics? No? Okay. Do we have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Okay. Second. Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, holler aye.
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 Very good. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Have 29 minutes.
You too.
You too, everyone. Take care. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.